Good afternoon and welcome to TIO Stadium in Darwin as we continue the 2019-20 TIO Women's Premier League season. We're into round 15. It's Nightcliff versus Darwin. Stu Davis and Heidi Thompson bringing the game to you once again. Good afternoon, Heidi.
Good afternoon, Stewie.
So Nightcliff 5th, Darwin 2nd, and I think last time we saw Nightcliff they were a bit disappointing against Wanderers before Christmas, but since then have had 3 wins in a row.
Yeah, that's right, and I think probably no coincidence they've got an American coming into the crew here. What's her name, Stewie?
Yes, her name is
Rosemary Clough.
Rosemary Clough.
AKA Dusty.
So we're underway already, and M. Wolsey high over the top in the long sleeves. Kylie Duggan for Buffaloes picks up though and hand passes out the back. And Buffett's kick forward, still inside the centre square at the moment though. Wolsey in there again, gets hand pass out. Miskin Rippier picks up, but it's a free kick to Emma Wolsey. So in the action early, she looks out wide. She's got a couple of players out here, and the mark's taken there by Hannah McDermott for Nightcliff. She drives the ball along this flank, and that's a beautiful one-handed mark there by Chantel Miskin Rippier. She drives the ball inside forward 50 now. Coming in there was Crystal Tack, couldn't hold on to the mark. Ball comes forward, we've got a whistle again. And it's a Nightcliff free kick.
Kicking in danger.
Yep, and it's Rose Russell who drives the ball long, deep into the forward line. Ball spills over the back. Buffalo's first there with a clever tap out, and now the chance to drive away through Gemma Yakono. Mark's taken there by Kylie Duggan. She goes to play on, but is stopped in her tracks. Kicks inboard now and finds Dominique Carbone. So Carbone switches back out to the grandstand side through the hands there of Danielle Totham, but she butters up again, hand passes over the top. Carbone drives long down towards half forward, and a nice overhead mark taken there by Taylor Harder-Looney in those blue boots again. Bit disappointed there. I'm told she has new boots every week, that's Heidi, right, but I'm sure she wore them last week.
She did. I was waiting for her to rock some new boots. She likes to bring out some brand spanking new boots every weekend.
So Nightcliff rebounding here, and it's Miskin Rippier who drives them forward. And but it's Bianca Stokes tidies up there for Buffaloes and drives them out of defence to the outer wing. Foot race here, and picked up nicely by Laura de Hommel, I think. Drives the ball in long, and it's out deep in the back pocket for Buffaloes there. Ball being paddled along in front. Now some good work, sees the ball kicked back inside. Hasn't gone the required distance. On the ground now. Iakono again gets a hand pass over, and Kylie Duggan, her kick's half smothered there, but Carbone's kick is fully smothered, and Nightcliff a chance to rebound back inside forward 50. But a contest over the ball there, and it's spilt out of bounds in the left forward pocket for Nightcliff, kicking towards the airport end in the first quarter.
I think that might have been the American captain in the pocket there, Rosemary Clough, on Bianca Stokes, getting the footy out and getting a bit of purchase on it. She's 3 from 3. She might be their lucky charm.
Yes. And so it's Wolsey again for Nightcliff, drives the ball in, but bounces out of bounds in the forward pocket. Emma Wolsey up against Tanya Dew in the ruck contest, and Dew pretty much dominated the rucks last week for Buffets.
Yeah, really smart. I was watching some vision through the week, and she just used her body exceptionally well against much taller opponents who had a bigger leap on her, just really crafty.
So yeah, Dew takes the front position this time, grabs the ball out of the air and runs off and kicks. And Iakono for Buffs drives him towards the centre of the ground up the corridor. A little bit of a push there, but play on's the call. Picked up by Chelsea Pember, got a hand pass out, but it's Buffs with the chance through Lucy Adam. Drives the ball forward, mark spilled off the chest there, and opportunity for Nightcliff to rebound, but not far, and intercepting there was Danielle Trindle-Price got the hand pass across, and Buffs look to go forward again. About 50 out, and the ball's being worked further forward for Buffs, and sprinting out in front is Hardalooni. Oh, she's pushed off the ball as she went to kick. Some good defensive work there, but umpire said that was a push in the back, and it'll be a free kick to Buffs deep in the forward pocket.
Good to see Lucy Adam back after 100 games.
Kick comes into the goal square, goes over the top of all comers there. Oh, the Nightcliff player overrun it. Kick off the ground, and looks like that's going to be the first goal of the game.
Delcy Arwan.
Delcy Arwan, who was a focal point up forward last week for Buffs. So
yeah, she kicked a bag last week. Just following on from that last week, kicks the first one today.
So a pretty good start to the game. Nightcliff had the ball forward for quite a while, but Buffs took it down, and obviously Darwin were impressive last week in the game we saw against St Mary's Heidi, and their form's been pretty good since Christmas, I think, and they're building towards the finals, I think, as we said at the end of the game last week.
Yeah, they've got a really solid team. They're actually missing Sissy Dunn and Michelle Ellis in Alice Springs, so when you put those two in the mix in the finals time, they're going to be a really formidable team.
Yes, and I said that we saw Nightcliff before Christmas, and a couple of important changes to their side since that game. We'll get to those in a minute. Miskin Rippier picks up for Nightcliff and drives them forward. Some good body work there, and now the opportunity to run onto the ball here. Kicks centred towards the top of the goal square. Buffs in front, and a quick kick comes out over the head. Mark almost taken there, but not quite. And Eliza Morrison in there doing some of the work, but it's Kylie Duggan who brings Buffs out of defence towards the centre of the ground, and player there tackled without possession of the ball, and will take the free kick.
Yeah, I think you were alluding to the fact that Michaela Ward has broken her collarbone, so she's out for the rest of the season, which is a huge loss to Nightcliff. So we'll just see how they cope in the midfield today.
So Kira Hill-Carter that was with the free kick. Mark claimed there but not paid, and it spills out now to Miskin Rippier, who drives Nightcliff forward again. Ball's on the ground deep in Nightcliff's forward line, and
pretty obvious free kick there.
Pretty rough push, and a free kick to Chev Fewings in the back pocket.
Miskin Rippier's been pretty busy already. First game after Christmas.
So Iacono for Buffs drives them along this grandstand wing. Ball comes over the top. There's Miskin Rippier again, taps it out in front of herself over the boundary line, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Boundary throw-in, yep. Just waiting to see what the call was going to be.
So Dew got to the front, got the hit out, but Miskin Rippier read it best, and hand pass
to
in front,
herself,
and then taps it on pretty cleverly. Morrison for Nightcliff drives them deep towards the top of the goal square, and a fantastic mark taken there, right at the top of the goal square. Some good work from Nightcliff in the build-up, and a really strong mark.
I think this might be legs. They call her legs? No, 26.
Rose Russell.
Rose Russell.
And she has no problem, puts it straight through the middle. So, yeah, you mentioned Michaela Ward out injured, but also since that last game that we saw, Eliza Morrison's back in the side. She's obviously been playing since Christmas, but back in since that game. And
America.
And the coach has pulled the boots on today.
Yeah, actually, both coaches, we were just talking about it earlier, aren't in fact in the coach's box. We've got Shannon Miller, who'll be playing out there today. I'm wondering to see where she's going to play, as a tall forward or maybe in the ruck. And Chris Atkinson, the usual coach of Buffs, is actually out the back playing on TIO 1. So his dad, David, is taking the reins today. Bit of a unique situation.
Yes. So we're a goal each, 8.5 minutes into the first quarter. And it's Wolsey reaching over the top, gets that clear hit out forward, but tied it up by Buffs back there. Hand pass came across from Trindle-Price to Ayres, and there's an interference in the back. Free kick going there to Tanya Dew. She looks to switch sideways here and finds her teammate in Nicole Schmidt at the centre of the ground. She switches again to this side, and Dom Carbone takes the mark there. Plays on now, driving down towards half forward.
Saw that a bit last week, Stu. Carbone to Taylor Hartaluni.
Yeah, Hartaluni kicks inside 50 now, but the kick goes over her teammate's head. And nicely marked back there. Oh, went to play on and the kick was smothered, but toe off the ground. And some good handball from Buffs. These that fall into the arms of Crystal Brown, and she kicks the goal, which would be her first goal for Buffs this year, Heidi, I understand.
That's correct, yes. I was a bit surprised to see her name there, but unfortunately the Big River Hawks down in Catherine have withdrawn from the Women's Premier League competition. So Crystal Brown has got an opportunity here to play with Buffs. She has played with Buffs before, so it's not a huge surprise, but first touch of the footy and kicks a goal off really fancy hands, quick hands out from Doug's. Yeah,
there was a couple of quick hand passes in there and worked the ball really well going forward. So high quality game to start this first quarter.
Yeah, the skills are definitely up, that's for sure.
And of course we mentioned that Nightcliff have won 3 in a row since Christmas. One of those wins against Waratah, in fact, who are the competition leaders at this stage. So
and were undefeated
really encouraging
at the time. Yep.
So ball on the ground now and spills out now. But I think that was a sling after disposal of the ball, and
it's a little bit dangerous.
It's Laura de Hommel for Nightcliff to take the free kick. She drives the ball towards half forward now, and contest there, but some good work by Bianca Stokes off the ground. Gave herself some space, couldn't pick it up, and now Nightcliff the opportunity again. Comes inside here, and kick goes.
Nightcliff have got all the numbers here if they can use it wisely.
Picks up and swings one, kick towards goal, and that's a terrific finish from about 30 out, and that's
is that legs?
Great goal there. That's Jacqueline Anion-Smith,
That's
I
right,
think.
yeah, I believe they call her legs, and she's their leading goal kicker at Nightcliff.
And you can see why that was a terrific finish.
Can kick a ball. Apparently she's won some kicking competition, kicked 45 metres or something like that.
I notice Eliza Morrison involved in the build-up again. She's had touches in both goals that have been scored in the build-up. So
yeah, she's been busy, but hasn't been too pivotal at the moment, which I think is a good thing. That they're not relying on just one player in there. Chantel Miskin-Rippier is really getting a heap of touches, and Eliza's just going about her business as she normally does.
So you see Morrison in the middle getting some attention from Taylor Hartaluni, obviously identified as a danger player. Over the top again, Wolsey getting her hand to most of these ruck contests at the moment. It's Carbone for Buffs, who broke one tackle, then tried to duck back inside.
Yeah, I think Nightcliff might have done their homework, Stewie. I think they might have had a bit of vision and checked out how they can negate Tanya Dew.
So Buffs again, and tied it up here by Totham. Kick comes towards the wing, spills out to the front. Kylie Duggan in there with some body work, picked up by Hartaluni. She's swamped by a couple of Nightcliff players, and ping for holding the ball. And
yeah, that's fair.
Morrison quick to take the free kick. Drives the ball long towards half forward, goes over the back. A couple of players there. Miskin-Rippier tries to knock it forward, but it spills out now, and she's going to be first to it. Her hand pass is smothered by Carbone, and kick off the ground by Adam, but back into the hands of Morrison for Nightcliff. She drives Nightcliff inside 50 again, reaching over the top. Mark not quite taken, and Iacono on the ground there, but it's Nightcliff again with the opportunity. Spills out here, and it's pretty fierce in the contest. Morrison grabs it out of there and kicks forward, but a chance now for Buffs to tidy up. Kick off the ground there by Rachel Henderson, and it's out towards half back, and that's Crystal Tack who picks up for Buffs, drives them in towards the centre of the ground, but chipping in there was Nina Skipietz, and with a good intercept mark drives them forward. Ball's forced to ground, and it's Dew who picks up, looks to hand pass. Kick just rolls off the foot there. Hartaluni on that left foot kicks back into the middle, but Morrison sits under this one and starting to get a bit of the ball now, Heidi.
Yeah, the pressure, it's just lifted, don't you think?
Yeah,
it really
absolutely
raised the bar a bit, Nightcliff.
And almost another good overhead mark there, but it's Anion Smith again working hard in there. Morrison comes back in. The ball's trapped underneath. Morrison's plucked it out, trying to get it out, and works its way out now. Almost a throw there, but play on's the call, and Hartaluni for Buffs kicks across the ground. It's gone past the Nightcliff player there, who butters up and picks up again. That was Grace Skian. Now kick comes long into the forward line. Oh, and a very good mark taken there by Iacono for Buffs.
One of their most consistent performers, I think I mentioned last week, and once again, 2-on-1 wins the footy.
Really good mark. And finds a target in Lucy Adam at half-back.
They just need to settle here, bit of composure. Very different start compared to last week.
Kick goes over the back. Numbers with Nightcliff if they can keep it in, but can't, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Uncharacteristic of Taylor Hartaluni there. I just thought she might have driven her legs and had a run, but she's panicked and kicked it across the face. So, yeah, they just need to settle and make better decisions.
This boundary throw-in falls short. Jude takes the ball, and now it spills out, tapped further ahead. Duggan's in there, picks up, gets past one tackle, tries to hand pass, it spills out, play on's the call, and now Buffs with a chance, but there's a tackle off the ball after it's spilled out. There is, I think.
Feeling in this game, it's really lifted the last 5 minutes.
So kick comes into the middle here, but Hartaluni receives that one from Kira Hill-Carter. She's looking to settle down. Play on's the call, and under a bit of pressure, kicked out towards the boundary, and it's bounced out of bounds. So
yeah, they're feeling the pressure.
They really are.
They're really in their face at the moment. It's a good test for them. Buffalo's sitting second on the ladder against fifth.
So that was the last touch free kick, and the kick by De Hommel comes forward, looking for a coach there, and Miller. Ball comes to the ground. Miller's in there again, gets bumped out of the way. Some good strong body work over the ball there by Rachel Henderson. Still trying to work it out. It comes out now with a quick kick from Elspeth Varley. And now the opportunity for Anion Smith. Got the ball in front of her. She's got some players around her though, and draws a high tackle. And we'll go back and take the free kick.
Well, we might test her here.
I'd say so.
This might test her distance.
So she'd be about 40 out when she kicks this football. So it would be would take her very best, I would think.
They're thinking she's got the distance.
So kicks on its way now. It looks pretty good from here, and it's cleared.
A cracking kick.
Cleared all those players on the line. Fantastic finish. Yes. Strong legs for sure. And yeah, she's looked dangerous when the ball's gone forward for Nightcliff. She's got her hands to a couple and won the free kick there and backed herself in, and why not when you can kick the ball like that?
Not only has she got a bit of size about her, she can move, she's mobile, and she's clearly got some power in those legs. Dangerous player.
So after it was goal for the first 4 goals, Nightcliff have kicked their second in a row and take a lead as we get close to quarter time in a really interesting contest here at TIO Stadium. As Dew gets in close that time and wins the tap. Duggan picks up, hand passes forward for Buffs out in front of Elisa Ayres. Hand pass comes back to Duggan now, and she kicks forward, intercepting there the opportunity, but the mark was spilt. Hand pass comes across and Duggan's there again. Back to Ayres, and Ayres now drives down the line, but it's all Nightcliff there, but didn't really look when kicking that one, and straight into a nest of Buffs players, and Nicole Schmidt gets the kick forward, but I think she was, it was a free kick off the ball, is it?
Not sure what's happening here.
It's going to be a Buffs free kick anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it was off the ball and awarded downfield where the ball was. So a really entertaining first quarter of football, and in the NTFL Women's League, it's Nightcliff by a goal at quarter time, but plenty to look forward to in the second quarter, Heidi.
Yeah, most definitely a real scrap. I think Buffs are a bit shell-shocked. Can't wait for the second quarter.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
It's almost time to go back to school. Urban students start school on Tuesday the 28th of January. Remote students start school on Wednesday the 29th of January. So go on, make school part of your story.
So we can feel forever, yeah, feel together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down.
Mother Nature can be frighteningly predictable in the Territory this time of year. Heavy rains and damaging winds can cause significant problems and disruption, particularly if you're unprepared, while downed power lines and flash flooding can be lethal. To ensure you're ready, visit powerwater.com.au/safety or text SAFETY to 0428 323 991 for more information. Because staying safe and ready around Mother Nature should be second nature.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona?
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Flight Centre.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice,
Come in and see it.
still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
Listen up, beginning and families. I'm almost time now to go back to school. Town student gotta go back on Tuesday, 28th of January. Bush student, they gotta start Wednesday, 29th of January. You gotta be there from day one.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium. It's the round 15 Women's Premier League clash between Nightcliff and Darwin, and a really good start to the game. Some real feeling in the game towards the end of that first quarter, Heidi.
Most definitely, and the skills are up. It looks really, really good, entertaining. everyone's into it. There's certainly a bit of feeling, that's for sure. I'm excited to see who can maintain that intensity for 4 quarters.
So we start the second quarter. Emma Wolsey up high, but on the ground it's Buffs again, and Kylie Duggan drives them forward to centre half forward, and well judged there. And
bit of body work from Taylor Harder-Looney.
Yep, mark taken. She kicks inside 50, and another good overhead marks taken there. So a quick start by Buffs going forward, and it's Crystal Brown on the end of this one. We saw Jackie Anion-Smith kick one from a touch further out than this towards the end of the first quarter, but not attempting this. Sue's the player on the lead, and
why not?
And yeah, hits up her teammate Delcy Arwang a bit closer to goal, and probably a bit stronger kick as well.
Yeah, she certainly can find goals. Last week kicked a bag, so you wouldn't pass that up.
So Hannah Turnbull on the mark there. She's got her hands full today against Delcy. Delcy's kick on the way looks pretty good, and clears the line. And so scores are tied up again early in the second quarter, and on target, both sides on target, 3 goals each, 3 goals straight. So a real seesawing affair, and a terrific game of footy, as we said before, Heidi.
That's it. Just a quick shout out to Mickey Roberts, who's playing for Collingwood in the AFLW today in a practice match against Melbourne. I'm not sure if she's watching this live stream, but if you are, good luck. Best wishes for round 1. Hopefully you get selected and get out there. I think she's going to play forward potentially today or in amongst it somewhere. Yeah, we've got a number of girls playing for the Gold Coast Suns as well. I'll talk about it in a minute.
So Wolsey over the top, kick around the corner by De Hommel for Nightcliff, drives them towards half forward. Iakono back there again. Spilt the ball as she was tackled. She thought she was held without it, but I think the free kick was probably fair enough, and Miskin Ripia gets on the end of this one for Nightcliff. Kicks the ball in high towards the corridor. Oh, and a strong mark taken over the back there for Nightcliff by Rose Russell. And she's having a shot towards goal now. It's going off the side of the boot a little to the left-hand forward pocket. And it's towed out of there by the Buffalo's defence. Kylie Duggan on the end of this one gets tackled with the ball. Ball spills out, and that's holding the ball. That's a very good tackle down there by Eliza Morrison.
Second one today that she's got a turnover from.
In fact, it's not.
No,
Eliza was just claiming the free kick.
Classic Morrison.
So mark almost taken there by Iakono, but it spills over the back, and kick out of defence by Stokes for Buffaloes. Morrison's in there again with Taylor. Good tackle on the jumper by Taylor, but Morrison got her hand pass across, and Wolsey drove the ball in long for Nightcliff. Comes out again now through the hands of Totham, but Miskin Rippy is in there for Nightcliff. She's strongly tackled by Dom Carbone, and Carbone will take the free kick. So
2 19-year-olds going at it there.
So
love that.
All of the skills of the game on display, Heidi, not just by hand and foot, but the tackling skills as well. So
yeah.
Carbone chips out wide here, finds her teammate in Trindle Price. She kicks back inside the corridor, back to Carbone. Under some pressure there, the ball spilled off her chest, but that was illegal according to the umpire. And
might have been a touch unlucky there for Miskin Ripia.
Carbone drives Buffs forward. Well judged there and taken by Jojo Dodsworth for Buffaloes. She chips inside the corridor, but that's well read by Wolsey. Couldn't take the mark, however. And Gamandi for Nightcliff clears. Contest with the ball on the ground. Dew picks up, gets a hand pass forward. She's got some support out there, but under pressure, Carbone gets her hand pass out. Oh, some strong body work there by Dew. Gets back and picks up the ball and hand passes forward. Carbone ducks around the tackle of Morrison and then drives Buffs forward again. Chipping in there, mark almost taken by Jangara Cooper, but spilled off her chest, and Gamandi again gets a kick forward. Morrison picks up for Nightcliff, drives it forward again, but it's all Buffaloes there, and picked up by Lucy Adam, who kicks back inside the corridor and finds Carbone by herself. between centre and half forward. She kicks towards half forward now. Gamandi got her hand to the ball there, just in front of Taylor. On the ground, the ball's picked up. Hand pass comes back by Dodsworth, but Nightcliff the opportunity again. Under some pressure there, the ball spills out. Play on's the call, and picked up by Hill Carter for Nightcliff, who drives them forward again. Iacono chipping across, looked to have the jumper pulled, but kept going and got her kick in. Morrison at the bottom of this. No, it wasn't. It was De Hommel, but it's Buffs who drive it out here towards the wing. It's Taylor taps it forward under some pressure there, and now it's picked up by Carboni and passes forward. Gamandi kicks forward, and it spills out here to Jew, who hand passes sideways. But Miskin Rippia is going to be first onto this for Nightcliff. She plays on with a bounce and another, backing herself here, and now drives the ball in deep into the forward line. Chipping across there, the mark almost taken, but not quite, and now it's on the ground, and Nightcliff another opportunity, but kicked off the ground by Imogen Briston there for Buffs.
I don't know about you, Stu, but I'm exhausted watching this
Yeah,
match.
I know.
There's a lot of running. There's some technical skill involved as well, but everyone is giving it their all, that's for sure.
So the two Nightcliff players collided there, leaving Kylie Duggan on her feet and able to come in and pick up the scraps, but a good intercept mark taken there by Jangara Cooper and played on straight away, driving Nightcliff forward. And a free kick to Buffs again. The Nightcliff player thinks it's hers, and I think the Buffs player thought it was too, but anyway, it's Danielle Totham who kicks the ball, switches it wide, and finds Nicole Schmidt. Schmidt drives the ball down the wing here. Hardaluni flying over the top, couldn't keep hold of the mark, and hand pass inboard from Hannah McDermott to Morrison, and Morrison found Grace Skian. Skian drives the ball down the wing, but ball's bounced out, and it'll be a free kick for the last touch. Play on down the line. It's just come back into play, but picked up there by De Hommel for Nightcliff. She centres the ball, and on the ground, Buffs have some numbers, but picked up there by Varley. She was swung as she tried to kick, and now the ball spills forward again for Buffs. Plenty of pressure around the ball.
Yeah, yep. The team that makes the best decisions under pressure now is probably going to be the team that starts to dominate.
So Kerry O'Connell won the free kick, looks to play on, and then ran into a wall of Nightcliff players. Hand passed over the top, and now the ball's
And that's what I was
on the
talking
ground.
about there. Probably had time to actually hit up a target inboard, decided to take it on, and now there's a stoppage.
So ball up between centre and half forward towards the grandstand side. Due uncontested there, took the ball out of the ruck contest and found a teammate inboard.
No opposing ruck there for some reason in the contest.
So it's Crystal Tack who was on the end of that, drives it forward. Strong body work again down there. Wolsey's back there for Nightcliff. Her hand pass cleverly intercepted by Kylie Duggan. She drives the ball forward now towards the goal square, but that's Turnbull back there for Nightcliff. She's bumped as she kicked the ball, but still got a bit of purchase on it, and made about 30 metres before it trickled out of bounds, about 50 out from the Buffett's goal. So a couple of seconds for the players to take a breather while we wait for this boundary throw in.
No ruck again? Oh, no.
Yeah, it looks like Wolsey's in there. Wolsey and Dew in front. Over the ball goes over the top without anyone touching it, and it's Jangara Cooper for Nightcliff who picked up the crumbs and drove them forward. Oh, some nice footwork there by Brianna Richards for Nightcliff, and then she was tackled after she disposed of the ball. It's going to be a free kick downfield, I would think. It'll be Danielle Wiseman to take the free kick here. So Wiseman kicks inside 50. Working back there is Totham for Buffs, but she's under plenty of pressure. The ball's trapped in underneath, a bit of a wrestle for it. Eventually it comes out with a quick kick across by Bianca Stokes and then driven out of defence. On the ground now, hand pass comes back inside, but there's plenty of Nightcliff players all around there. Morrison does some good work, gets a hand pass out to Wiseman. Wiseman chips the ball in forward, looking to kick off the ground there, unsuccessful. And now Nightcliff kick off the ground through Anion Smith. It goes across the goal square. It's a foot race to see who gets there first, and I think a kick off the ground conceded the behind by Bianca Stokes of the Darwin defender, and she brings the ball back into play now. Finds Rachel Henderson, who drives wider, but that's gone too wide and out of bounds on the full.
Oof. Now they've called it. Yeah, I'd just like to see what Morrison's going to do here. I'd like to see her slow down the play.
She keeps the ball along the boundary line, but deep in the forward line. Anion Smith, running onto that one, and had the shot on goal, but hit the goal post. So some clever work. And the ball's camped in Nightcliff's forward line the last couple of minutes, but haven't been able to get a goal on the board, just a couple of minor scores.
Yeah, Buffs have really come back quite nicely and defended well.
Just having trouble getting out of defence.
The pressure from Nightcliff has been extraordinary as well.
So again, a bit of a wall there, but it falls into the hands of the Buffs player who drives it along looking for Duggan there. Well done, Danielle Trindle-Price, who got that clearing kick and followed up and got possession again. Some good work back there by Turnbull for Nightcliff into the hands of Morrison, who drives the ball long. Sitting under this one is Hartaluni. Spilt the mark, but was able to recover and drive Buffs forward again. Turnbull again for Nightcliff back there.
Really
Turns
fortunate last on defence there. If it went through her, it was probably going to be an instant point or a goal for Buffs.
So Nightcliff have worked it to half forward here. Hand pass comes out and another hand pass, and Miskin-Rippier overruns the ball there. And Hartaluni back in there for Buffs. Can't pick it up cleanly though, and now she's worried out of it, and quick kick forward is chopped off there by Elisa Ayres. She comes out wide here to Iacono, who drives the ball down the line. Morrison gets her hand to the ball and then butters up. Gets a hand pass across to Wolsey, back to Morrison. Morrison with a bit of space now. Drives the ball long, deep into the forward line. And ball spills over the back. It's a foot race on here. Kick off the ground, and another one. And that's the coach, I think, Shannon Miller, who gets her name, gets a goal on the board. Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah, so the ball spilled out the back, and Nightcliff were first there. A couple of players to get to the ball, and it was the coach who got on the end of it, but almost a mark taken, you see in the replay, and
just kept their
ball
feet
went
there.
Forward, yep, and they just kept persisting, didn't they, and kept working in numbers, and eventually spilt to the feet of Shannon Miller.
A little
No
bit
problem at all.
unorthodox, but doesn't matter. Shan, it's going to count as 6 on the scorebook. But it actually started in the midfield here with Eliza Morrison. She got an intercept with the mark that was going to go through for Buffs, and just clean, got a hand away, and then was able to run and carry and get some nice purchase into the forward 50. So
that lead for Nightcliff stretches to 8 points. It'd probably be about the biggest lead of the game, I would think, Heidi, so far. And
yeah, handy lead.
Wolsey again up high, gets a fist to the ball, but it's Buffs who are going to get the clearance out of the middle. Kicks towards the grandstand side here. Ball's taken nicely by Crystal Tack. Gets past the tackler, and O'Connell there got the hand pass back. But Nightcliff another opportunity to clear here, but O'Connell again for Buffs kicks inside 50 this time. Gamandi working back hard, and Turnbull for Nightcliff drove the ball out of defence. Mark was spilt there, but Buffs had the numbers.
Something might have happened behind play here, I think. Possibly.
Yeah, something off the play, and umpire Sam Cunningham's picked that up, and it'll be a Nightcliff free kick way up the ground here towards the centre. Morrison's hovering again, wanting to get the free kick, and she'll take it.
If you just stand there and plead and say it's mine, you get it.
Her teammate unfortunately slipped over before the ball arrived then, but managed to get back to her feet.
Might work out okay here.
Another kick forward, but Iakono chips in. She's claiming the mark, but it didn't go far enough, but managed to get a hand pass back to her teammate. And now the ball spills out. And Kylie Duggan on the end of this can't take it cleanly, but works back in and eventually gets a hand pass out. Some good work on the ground by Duggan. Now Hartaluni, some good evasive skills after taking the ball under some pressure. Took a bounce, drove the ball forward, but it's gone too far for her teammate. And Hannah Turnbull for Nightcliff took the intercept mark, kicked forward. It's De Hommel trying to pick up there and eventually does, gets a kick to the ball. Not 15's the call from the umpire. Oh, some strong body work coming in there. And ball's on the ground now. Miskin Ripia picks it up cleanly, gets a hand pass in front of herself, gets rid of her teammate with a strong push, and then wins herself a free kick for a high tackle.
Well, cannot fault their endeavour, Stu. They are both going at it as hard as they possibly can at the moment.
Miskin Ripia, a long kick down the line here, working back to Iakono. Solid in defence again for Buffs today, and the ball eventually spills over the boundary line with a toe, but it's going to be a boundary throw in. I think all the players thought it had gone out before it had. So Buffs ringing the changes. The players look pretty weary, pretty exhausted when they come onto the bench for that interchange.
Yeah, which is understandable. They're doing a bucket load of work.
And kick comes across to half forward here. Numbers over the ball and a push in the back. And the siren goes. And again, another really entertaining quarter of football. Only one goal each that quarter, but really entertaining quarter. Going to take the kick after the siren, but no chance of scoring there, obviously. And yeah, Nightcliff held sway, really. They held a lead of 6 points at quarter time, and it stretched that to 8 points by half time. But I think they had the bulk of the play during that quarter. But again, the endeavour from both sides has been terrific, Heidi.
Yeah, I think it'll be a match of 4 quarters now. So the second half will determine who's going to last the longest, because that first half would have taken a lot out of their tank for both teams. Yeah, so at half time here at TIO Stadium in the TIO NTFL Women's Premier League, it's Nightcliff by 8 points at half time.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
It's almost time to go back to school. Urban students start school on Tuesday the 28th of January. Remote students start school on Wednesday the 29th of January. So go on, make school part of your story.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
kilonewton centrifugal force, infrared remote control.
How does he do it?
24.5 kilowatt diesel motor.
He doesn't just know how to operate every piece of Kennard's hire gear we get in, but also its service details, its safety checks. I know.
It's as if he can hypnotise each piece.
Give me 2 passes with sauce, coffee white with 1, bun with icing, no pink icing.
Yep, no worries, Terry.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more! Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
Looking for the best and brightest to join your team? At Quality People, we specialise in finding quality, hard-to-get professionals, and we have an office right here in Darwin. Kick your recruitment goals with Quality People. qualitypeople.com.au.
Now that's quality.
On Territory roads, anything can happen, so you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble.
Listen up, beginning and families. I'm almost time now to go back to school. Town student gotta go back on Tuesday, 28th of January. Bush student, they gotta start Wednesday, 29th of January. You gotta be there from day one.
Choosing a health fund can be tricky. Some are too big, too small, or just not right at all. But with Territory Health Fund, you can make sure your cover is the right fit.
The NTFL clubs and umpires would like to share the following events and messages and thank their sponsors.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy. I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
Get your panties, I'll go home and get my panties, and away we'll go. Oh, shuffle up the buffalo, shuffle up the buffalo. Oh.
Wedding or birthday is coming up? Maybe a get-together with friends and family. Waratah Clubhouse at Gardens Oval is the perfect venue for your next community function. Celebrate in the home to one of Darwin's iconic football clubs, Waratah Clubhouse.
For more information, please visit the relevant club or umpire's Facebook page.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium. It's the round 15 TIO Women's Premier League clash between Nightcliff Tigers and Darwin Buffettes. A really entertaining game of footy so far, Heidi Thompson, and expect that it'll be hard and fast again as it was in the first half in this third quarter.
Yeah, they want to continue that momentum on both teams. I think if I was Buffs coach now, I'd be wanting to put my ball winners in the middle. So, or my most consistent players, a Gem Icono from the back line, just throw it around a bit. Take a few more risks.
So we're underway again. Wolsey up high over the top as she has been all day, wins that hit out. Ball spills out here, she's back in there again. But it spills out the back. Duggan good hands out the back to Carbone. Carbone drives Buffs forward again. And Hartaluni out there, some clever work. Ducks around and kicks across back into the corridor. And the mark's taken by Mel Taylor there at centre half forward for Buffs. She's had one lead but had her back turned to that one as she went back to prepare, and she's looking for another option now. Kicks in short and ball spills over the back. Hannah Turnbull there for Nightcliff. Drives them out of defence, looking for Miskin Ripia. Finds her at just outside defensive 50, directing traffic as she looks for options down the line, and now kicks long. And ball came to ground, almost taken there, but Buffs with the numbers and some strong work there by Carbone. Hacked it out, pulled it out of there and drove them forward. But back there for Nightcliff is Jangara Cooper. Hand pass to Miskin Ripia. And Danielle Jangara Cooper, Heidi, a player that we probably haven't seen before, but has been pretty impressive in defence for Nightcliff.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with her run and carry, to be perfectly honest. You don't see it a lot in women's footy. Just you've got to build that confidence to run and carry with the ball, but she seems to have a fair bit of courage.
So the throw in there. Kylie Duggan's first there for Buffs. Hand passes back inside to Elisa Ayres. She drives the ball forward. Hartaluni on the end of this one. Oh, some clever evasive work, and then drives the ball long into the goal square. It's gone over the back, but bouncing through for the first score of the quarter. It's a minor score at the Michael Long Centre end, and 7 points the margin here as Hannah Turnbull will bring the ball back in for Nightcliff. Kicks low towards the outer side to the advantage of her teammate, and she's got some help out there. Eventually ball's knocked forward. Wolsey's in there, gets a hand pass back, but Buffs over the top of the ball now, and a free kick's been found, and it'll be Buffs to take the free kick on the outer side. That was Nicole Schmidt, I think, got the kick in, looking for Hartaluni. Spills off her chest and couldn't pick it up on the ground, and now Nightcliff with the opportunity out of defence. Ball comes down towards the centre of the ground, and working up the ground there is Jackie Anion-Smith. She
that's a lovely kick to advantage for Miskin Ripia.
Didn't have to break stride, took the ball and played on with a bounce, but then lost control of it and was pushed off it by Duggan.
Heard Kylie Duggan's footsteps, I think.
And a quick kick forward, but Wolsey's on the end of this one. Kicks it high. Duggan's sitting underneath this one and spills that one. Miskin Ripia comes in, but Duggan kept her feet and picked the ball up and drove it out wide towards the grandstand wing here. Looking to do some body work in there is Anion Smith. She picked up the ball but had the ball trapped in. Umpire said she didn't have an opportunity to get rid of that, and it'll be a ball up, but some good defensive work there by Rachel Henderson for Buffs. Wolsey and Juju in front, got her hand to the ball, came to the front. Anion Smith kicks forward for Buffs, but all alone across half back was Iacona, but her kick in turn was intercepted by the Nightcliff player there in Chelsea Pemba. Iacona again on the end of this, got a high tackle, and she'll take the free kick between half back and wing. And a 50-metre penalty on top of that. I'm not sure if it was for the return of the ball or if there was some words spoken off the ball. But anyway, Iacona wastes no time and drives them forward. And Hartaluni has read that one best and positioned herself nicely to take the mark inside forward 50.
Yeah, Stu's starting to be a little bit more dangerous, Hartaluni.
Chips the pass in, but there's Nightcliff players around this. It spills over the back. Hand pass comes over. That's Gamandi forward Nightcliff, who drives the ball out of defence. Crystal Tack Kicks it back in for Buffs, but chipping in and taking the mark there is Chelsea Pemberton for Nightcliff. Drives Nightcliff out of defence now. And ball on the ground, hand pass comes out here. Morrison with good hands forward. And on the end of this one, a good mark taken on the wing down here by Elspeth Varley. So ball spills out, and it's Carbone for Buffs. He drives them forward again. A good mark taken there, and play on straight away by Joe Dodsworth.
Yeah, I think that's a better option to play on there through the guts.
She's found Tamika Bullen at half. She kicks the ball across towards centre half forward now. A couple of Buffs players there, but it spills out. Wolsey's the first there for Nightcliff. Their hand pass comes back, and it's Pemberton again for Nightcliff, who gets the kick out.
Starting to see a few more girls hit the deck. I think fatigue starting to set in. That frenetic first half is really starting to take its toll on some players. Probably not Eliza Morrison, who's just running amok at the moment.
She terrific work there. Won the ball under some pressure and then ran away with a couple of bounces. Drove the ball in towards half forward, but Buffs the opportunity again with some numbers. Or stepped over the top of the ball then, and now Nightcliff with the chance. Long kick comes towards the goal square. It's a one-on-one contest down there. Ball spills to the front. But picked up, and the kick comes out. Now it falls into the hands there of De Hommel for Nightcliff, but her kick at goal is offline for a minor score.
Yeah, we're starting to see some more skill execution errors as they're getting more tired. So I think slowing it down, resetting the play, getting a few more stoppages is going to be handy for both teams.
Yeah, well, it was a hot contest in the first half with the pace of the game and the pressure around the ball and the body contest as well. We mentioned that not just the foot and hand skills, but the tackling skills were good in the first half. So pressure all over the ground. Ball comes in here on the ground, and Carbone picks up and breaks out of that pack. Looks to run with the ball. Eventually just got her kick in as she was tackled. Umpire had his whistle to the mouth, but play on's the call, and Hartaluni comes in. Her hand passes partly smothered there by Serena Corrie and spilt out of bounds at the Nightcliff interchange gate.
There's a few Nightcliff players unmarked here in this contest.
Ball spills over the back. O'Connell's first there for Buffs. Tries to get the hand pass across, but went into the legs of her opponent. Some strong work in there, and the ball spills out towards the boundary again. Duggan in there with Anion Smith.
That's some great body work in there.
Too strong in the end, and went down looking for Wiseman, but the ball spilled out the back, and the opportunity for Buffs to clear out of defence again. Hartaluni spilt that one off the chest. Anion Smith again drives the ball forward, but the ball bounces around on the ground. It's almost a throw there. Play on's the call. And now Nightcliff go forward again through Stepaker, but coming out strongly out of defence was Bianca Stokes. Left the ball behind initially, but went
risky.
back, but her kick's gone back into the corridor where there's plenty of Nightcliff players, but they just can't pick it up at the moment. It's picked up now by Hannah McDermott. Her kick was ineffective, and hand pass comes out. And clearing out of defence is Rachel Henderson for Buffs.
You can see both teams are trying to get some rotations happening here. We've got some really tired bodies.
Elspeth Varley there got the kick forward, and Wolsey over the top of that picked it up, and then the ball spilled out as she was tackled, and that's holding the ball. So kick comes across, and the mark's taken by Crystal Tack just inside the centre square towards the grandstand side. She looks to go straight down the corridor here, and picking up there is Lucy Adam. Ducks one way, then the other, but her kick is off target. That's intercepted by Hannah McDermott, who drives Nightcliff forward again, and Miskin Rippier on the end of this one. Looking to go long, but sees a shorter option instead. Just missed the target there, but still an opportunity for Nightcliff in there with the ball on the ground. Couldn't be picked up, and
might be holding here, Bianca Stokes.
That's
so there's a free to Nightcliff.
It's Rosemary Clough there, who won the free kick. Rosemary Clough, the American girl, Heidi.
Yeah, that's right. I think she's the captain of the American Freedom team. Came over here and has played 3 games, won all 3. Got the name Dusty after a bit of a don't argue in her first game.
Her kick's gone across the face of goal, bounces just inside the boundary line, and will be.
Yeah, she got interviewed after a game last week, and she was saying that she wants to take all the information that she gets here back to America, and she was really well spoken and articulate, but you could tell that she's got a real passion for the game and a thirst for knowledge. She wants to find out more about it.
That's
so
right.
what an opportunity to come to Darwin and learn in this heat and humidity. If you can play it here, you can play it anywhere.
Fantastic, and of course the competition's pretty good in Darwin as well, and so the opportunity to improve her skills as well. So ball's taken out of defence by Dew, kicked across the ground, hand pass forward there by Duggan, but didn't find a teammate, and Varley for Nightcliff drives the ball back forward. Forced under the ball there was Brianna Richards, and she'll take the free kick for Nightcliff. About 30 metres out, probably a bit further than that when she kicks. Kicks towards the goal square now, just offline, but falling short, and now the Buffs player over the ball, Bianca Stokes, fell to the ground, no free kick paid, play on's the call. Stokes again in over the ball, and eventually it's kicked out of there by Chev Fewings, picked up by Carbone. A good hand pass forward, and then a chip kick. Some strong body work in there, but it's Nightcliff who picked it up. And Miskin Rippier took the ball beautifully with one hand, but then under pressure kicked it out on the full as it went forward into the forward pocket for Nightcliff.
Just while we've got a break in play here, Stu, the Gold Coast Suns I was alluding to before are playing their first practice match, or official practice match, against the St Kilda team down in Southport today, about the same time as this match, so they probably won't be watching this live stream, but we wish Taylor Thorne, Sal Riley, Jazz Hewitt and Geordie Hickey the best of luck in that game and for selection in round 1.
I'm sure they'll all be watching the replay when they get the opportunity. They obviously love their ties with the territory and territory footy, and great ambassadors for the game from up here.
Yeah, and it's a good way to keep connected as well to the people they know, their family.
Strong mark in front there by Carbone, who's been good again today, Heidi.
Yep, solid game.
Kick down the line, and Iacono takes a strong mark, plays on straight away, and down to the wing.
Crystal Brown running onto it.
Yeah, picks up cleanly and runs away with a bounce. And running inside 50 now, has a second bounce. It dribbles along in front of her, but she regathers, picks up, kicks towards goal. It's going over the head of all the players.
Oh,
but
would have been candidate for goal of the year, that one.
Certainly would have been in the Play of the Week highlights, but just offline, unfortunately.
I love it how both of her bounces just rolled through and she somehow managed to pick them up. That was a talent in itself. Yeah, she's been a big inclusion today, Crystal Brown, but just haven't done enough as a team, Buffs, compared to last week. They're starting to find their straps now.
Yeah, certainly still anyone's game as we head towards the closing minutes of the third quarter. No goals so far this quarter, but still a really hot contest. Eliza Morrison in there gets a hand pass under pressure, but Carbone again picks up strongly and drives Buffs forward. Opportunity for O'Connell getting onto the end of this one, and over the top. The tackle was made as she sat on top of the ball, and now there's plenty of players over the top, and we'll have a ball up right at the top of the goal square.
Did well not to give away a free there.
So Buffs attacking end of the ground, opportunity here, and no one won that hit out in the ruck contest. Ball spilled out. Hartaluni gets a hand pass back inside. Flying shot on goal by Crystal Brown, and it's a goal for Buffs. And
yeah, you could tell they were just building to something there with that quick passage of play, and Crystal Brown makes no mistake with that one.
So what a contest we've got, just to point the difference, I think, at this stage of the game.
Probably a true reflection of the game that we've seen.
Certainly is.
Very even.
It has been, and yeah, it's been a pleasure to watch and a pleasure to call, and it could go either way, obviously, from here, and just a matter of who can work hardest for longest and take their opportunities.
Yeah, I agree. One of the most entertaining matches I've seen this season in the Women's Premier League. Now it's about exactly what you said, who can maintain that for the next quarter and a bit. So it's Dew and Wolsey. They've contested the ruck all day so far, and this time comes to ground. Dew gets a hand pass. Morrison picks up in there for Nightcliff. Drives the ball sideways almost towards the outer wing, and taken there by Dodsworth for Buffs, drives them forward. But Nightcliff cleaning up back there. Yeah, the ball just bobbled a bit as she went to hand pass, and it's Kerry O'Connell who'll take the free kick. She's undecided what to do. Play on's the call now. She hand passes sideways, and Kylie Duggan kicks the ball out wide and finds a teammate there in Tamika Bullen. Really wide out on the outer side of the ground. She's looking to chip back inboard again to Duggan. Duggan's got some space and plays on straight away. And the siren's gone before that mark was taken, I think. No, the mark's been paid. No, getting the ball back. Yeah, I think that mark was taken after the siren.
I'm confused about the length of quarters in Women's Premier League footy, Heidi. That one's gone just under 16 minutes. I don't know what the story is there. But anyway, it doesn't affect the quality of the contest, and we've got a real game on our hands at three-quarter time. It's Nightcliff by 1 point.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
It's almost time to go back to school. Urban students start school on Tuesday the 28th of January. Remote students start school on Wednesday the 29th of January. So go on, make school part of your story.
So we can feel, forever you feel, together real, together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down.
Mother Nature can be frighteningly predictable in the Territory this time of year. Heavy rains and damaging winds can cause significant problems and disruption, particularly if you're unprepared, while downed power lines and flash flooding can be lethal. To ensure you're ready, visit powerwater.com.au/safety or text SAFETY to 0428 323 991 for more information. Because staying safe and ready around Mother Nature should be second nature.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona?
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Flight Centre.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
Listen up, beginning and families. I'm almost time now to go back to school. Town student gotta go back on Tuesday, 28th of January. Bush student, they gotta start Wednesday, 29th of January. You gotta be there from day one.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium for the last quarter of this round 15 match between Nightcliff and Darwin. Been a fantastic contest so far. 1 point the difference at three-quarter time, and Heidi, we've had it clarified the length of women's Premier League quarters.
We have 15 minutes with time on, so there you go, folks.
So that's why the last one was a bit short, only the 1 goal scored, and we're underway again already, and ball's caught up amongst a number of players in there. Umpire Cunningham says there's a high tackle, and it'll be Kerry O'Connell for Buffs, who goes back and takes the free kick. Yeah, kick towards centre half forward. Hardalooney in front there takes the mark. She's looking sideways for options and forward, but Nightcliff got it clogged up. Kicks long in the end forward. Dodsworth on the end of this one under a bit of pressure. Ball spills out the back, and Dodsworth's first there again, but over the boundary line. And
Eliza Morrison's calling for the deliberate.
Yes, but didn't get it.
But under a fair bit of pressure, Dodsworth, so he wouldn't be calling that in a hurry.
So the throw in falls a bit short. Dews in there, takes it out of the ruck contest and gets tackled by her opposing ruck, and that's a free kick for holding the ball in the end. So a good tackle by Wolsey. Reacted slowest for the contest, but was made up for it with the tackle in the end. Ball comes out the back now. Miskin Rippier on a run, takes a bounce and drives Nightcliff out of defence out towards the outer side. Out in front there is Brianna Richards, but she's tackled and got her hand pass across. Now the ball's working its way back towards the centre square. Hand pass out the back by Lucy Adam, and the whistle's gone, and it'll be
one to Kylie Duggan.
Free kick to Duggan on the outer side. She drives the ball along the wing, and Lucy Adams on the end of this one taking the mark in front of Miskin Rippier.
Good lead by Hardalooney.
And, but her direct opponent there worked well to get under the ball, and now the kick comes out for Nightcliff, but it's Crystal Tack for Buffaloes, who drives them forward again. On the 50, Taylor in there tried to get the hand pass out wider, but unable to. It's a scramble for the ball on the ground now, and we'll have another ball up.
Been impressed with the method around a contest for both teams. There hasn't seemed to be as much congestion as we've seen in the past with our Premier League games.
So hand pass inboard here. Just missed the target. Carbone's in there strongly as usual. Got her hand pass across. Back in again, takes possession again, and hand passes off to Schmidt. Schmidt drives the ball forward. Where ball's contested on the ground. Nightcliff seem to have some numbers, but Buffalo support comes in, and the free kick's paid for a holding without the ball there, and it's Hannah McDermott who'll take the free kick for Nightcliff. Drives the ball along the line on the outer side. Miskin Rippier uses the body to nudge her opponent out of the way, but couldn't take the mark, and eventually the ball trickles over the boundary line.
She's been solid all game, Miskin Rippier.
She has, and I think she was pretty prominent last time. We we covered the Nightcliff game, but she's missed one or two since then, I understand.
Yeah, she's only just come back from Cairns, bit of a family holiday down there, and this is her first game back, so good to see her straight into some good form.
So another free kick here to Darwin. Right on the outer wing. Kick comes in here off hands. Ball's taken by Morrison. Drives the ball forward for Nightcliff, but now on the ground. Nightcliff have got some numbers around the ball, but working in hard underneath there was Tanya Dew for Buffs and kept the ball in the area, and really without her, Nightcliff seemed to have 3 or 4 players and had the opportunity to take it away, but some really strong work on the ground there. Wolsey over the top, got her hand to the ball, but coming through again was Carbone, drove the ball forward, and a
safe
falling mark taken by Mel Taylor.
Yeah, read the flight of the footy perfectly there.
She looks for the options, kick, sees a player on the lead there, and marks taken by Crystal Brown, I think it might be, or
Taylor Hartaloony.
Taylor Hartaloony, sorry, on the lead, and a good mark out in front.
Left foot kick.
So taking plenty of time over this one. I think she'd cover the distance normally. Well, the kick's not her best, and it's gone low like a bullet through for a behind only, but that levels up the scores here at TIO Stadium 5 minutes into the final quarter. So
yeah, I think she might have got a bit too close to the man on the mark there, and that forced her to get that lower trajectory.
So Turnbull's kick in is good to Miskin-Rippier at half back on the lead in between a couple of Buffalo's players. She drives the ball along the line looking for Morrison, who's
great contest. Okono and Morrison.
Fighting for it again.
Oh, giving away the free there.
Morrison.
Bit of feeling in this game.
Well, of course, Eliza played for the Buffs last year, so
correct.
A bit more feeling there than would otherwise be. Her kick along the line. Mark, it's almost taken there. Oh, that's come out off the boot and be out on the full, I would think. And it's Jackie Anion-Smith who's claiming the free kick. Kira Hill-Carter was also in the vicinity, but Anion-Smith, who's played further up the field in this second half, I think. She was deep in the forward line in the first half, but been prominent up around half forward and on the wing.
Yeah, and I think that's a good move from Miller.
Speaking of whom, he's right in the action there, got her fist to the ball, and running onto it is De Hommel for Nightcliff. Drives long towards the goal, it's going over the top of the players' heads, bounces straight up in the air, and Bianca Stokes was able to get back and get her hand to the ball and knock it through for a rush behind, which gives Nightcliff the lead back, but Buffs bring it out of defence and steady it down now, deep in the back pocket. Kick comes out towards half back now. Dew in front, again strong body work, but falls to the ground, and ball's tapped forward, and the opportunity for Buffs to clear again. One-on-one contest here, and it's Eliza Johnson for Nightcliff in the long sleeves working hard. Ball's on the ground, Johnson again in there, but in the meantime it's Hartaloony.
Taylor Hartaloony might have been forced to the ground possibly there off the ball.
So she kicks grandstand side. Miskin-Rippier's lurking there and chips in nicely to take the intercept mark for Nightcliff. She drives them forward again, and it's Iacono again for Buffs, who butters up their kicks long down the line. Marks spilled off the chest there, and an opportunity for Gamandi to drive Nightcliff forward again. Ball spills over the back. Anion-Smith's in there, working hard, goes to ground now with the ball trapped underneath her. She need to get that out. It's picked up nicely in the end by Brianna Richards, who kicked forward, was slung after she kicked the ball, and I think the ball's coming back for Richards to take the free kick. It's not going to be paid downfield.
Bit of poor discipline there.
So Buff's probably a bit lucky that it wasn't paid down the field, and Brianna Richards will take the kick at centre half forward. She hand passes inboard instead to Anya Smith, ducks around, runs towards goal now, kicks long, but that's offline. And it's just snuck through for 1 point.
I think that might be why she's playing a little bit higher up the ground, try and get a bit of purchase into their forward line for Nightcliff.
So again, Buffs bring it in, trailing by 2 points now as we approach the 9-minute mark of the last quarter. Kick comes to this outer side. Ball's on the ground near the boundary line. Working hard in there was Tack for the Buffaloes, and a couple of Tigers players came in strongly, picked themselves up now, and we'll have a ball up 50 metres out from the Nightcliff goal. So Dew and Wolsey over the top. Pretty ineffective tap, but got a hand to the ball. Morrison's in there lurking. Hand pass comes up to Morrison now. Gets the kick in towards full forward, but a strong mark over the back taken by Bianca Stokes for Buffaloes.
Handy player to have at full back. Doesn't make too many errors at all.
No, she's been good again today. She kicks across the face of goal this time, but that doesn't find the target and bounces out of bounds in the opposite forward pocket. So Nightcliff the opportunity again to mount something. Shannon Miller with her hand up to do the ruck work for the Tigers in the forward line this time. And she wins this hit out back into the corridor, the dangerous space, but Buffalo's players are there. And now the hack kick comes out. Emma Wolsey's waiting for that. Couldn't take the mark, but picks up. She's limping as she drives the ball back in towards the goal square. Ball on the ground again now. And Brianna Richards in there for Nightcliff, but it's toe poked out. Quick hand pass forward by Miller. But plenty of numbers around the ball now as it spills out, and Buffs the opportunity to bring it out of defence. Kick round the corner is a good one, but working back there was Elspeth Varley for Nightcliff. Kick comes across to half forward inside 50. Morrison for Nightcliff runs onto this one, runs around a couple of players, heads towards goal, and the kick's marked just inside the...
Tough angle though.
Just inside the boundary line there.
She's going to come round here. I know, straighten up and
back, and that's a really good option. And
legs is on.
Jackie Onion Smith about 20 out directly in front.
Well, so we know she's got the distance. So
some good work. She's not taking much time over this one. Kicks on the way. It's
oh, maybe she should have.
Yeah, she's missed that one to the right hand side, and so.
Especially with the time at the moment being in 11 minutes, suck up all that time that you can just
that's right.
To keep the pressure back on Buffs.
Yeah, you would think a goal there would have almost settled the game, but Buffs are still right in at 3 points the difference, and ball in hand in defence.
That's a good learning though for Nightcliff, being a fairly inexperienced team, coming from, I think, last on the ladder a couple of years ago to working their way up, now potentially into finals, and really giving it to Buffs at the moment. That's just a little learning to look back at the tape and go, that's the time where you need to go slow and give everyone a breather.
So two of the best players on the ground involved there. Duggan tackled by Morrison. Morrison rewarded with the free kick, kicked long down the centre of the ground, and again it was Brianna Richards underneath that one, and she was caught high in the marking contest, and she'll go back and take her kick. Will she take a bit more time, Heidi?
Yeah, I think the message might have got out there.
Comes in now, kicks on the way. That one's not going to be a goal either. In fact, it's not going to be any score at all, and it's out of bounds on the full next to the right-hand behind post. So we're just gone 12 minutes into this final quarter, and we've all learnt that the quarters are 15 minutes plus time on. There's been no goals kicked this quarter, so don't expect a long quarter, and Buffs need to work the ball pretty quickly to get it forward now.
Yeah, and I think now it's survival of the fittest, and I dare say Nightcliff's probably got that over the Buffs team at the moment, especially when you've got Morrison running around and she just runs ragged and does not stop.
Yes.
It's a huge asset to have.
Free kick to Buffs then when they look to be on the break, and that marks beautifully, intercept mark, and it's Morrison again for Nightcliff. Oh, that kick's not her best. It's off the side of the boot towards the danger zone at half forward, picked up down there by Eliza Johnson, and probably pretty fortunate not to be called holding the ball there. We'll have a ball up just outside forward 50 for Nightcliff. Halsey over the top again, but the ball fell into Dew's hands. She got the hand pass over the top. And now Carbone in there, burrowing in and picking the ball up and then trying to find some space to kick forward. Gumandi underneath this one for Nightcliff, but it's toe poke forward cleverly by Bullen. Comes towards half forward now for Buffs, and a chance to run onto the ball here.
Shepherd.
It's Hartaluni with the ball in front of her. She swings back around now, kicks smothered in there. She's still in the play, but she's tackled. A good hand pass out, and the kick forward there by Trindle Price in the goal squares the contest, but Wolsey's work back for Nightcliff. Drives them out of defence again, and picked up down there. A quick kick forward. And now it's Varley for Nightcliff working in there, but Duggan comes in. She's tackled and the ball spills free. Varley clears Nightcliff out of defence again, but Buffs are on the end of this one. Iacono marks and plays on straight away. Goes straight up the middle of the ground. Numbers there for Nightcliff. Oh, the bounce doesn't favour them. And Jamandi for Nightcliff relieves the pressure and kicks towards the centre square where Miskin Ripia is first to the ball and drives Nightcliff further forward again towards half forward. On the end of this one is Stepica. Stepica's kick is smothered off the beat, and Buffs another chance. Stepica still working in hard over the ball. Ball's on the ground now, and now a kick back inboard by Buffs towards the corridor. Nightcliff have a 2-on-1 here, and cleverly picked up there by Rosemary Clough, and got it to Morrison, who drove the ball forward. Ball's bouncing in space in the Nightcliff forward line.
Oh, what a game!
And you called it, Heidi. What a game.
Wow.
No goals in the last quarter, but the quality of football was fantastic. The contest was hot all day. And I think in the end, it's a three-point win to Nightcliff, and probably they deserved it in the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think Buffs left their run a little bit late. Started to look good towards that second half, but the damage was done. And wow, Nightcliff, that's a huge upset in the Women's Premier League, but not a huge surprise when you look at Nightcliff and what they've formed this year, and they've really come together as a team, gelled really well, and they're missing one of their key players in Michaela Ward, so
right.
They'll be super happy with that. Shannon Miller will be beside herself.
It's a fantastic result. It's the first time in their history that they've won 4 in a row now, and it cements their place in the finals, which will be their first finals appearance as well. So the big improvers of the year in women's football, Nightcliff, and well-deserved win today, and look forward to seeing them some more as the season progresses.
Thanks for calling, Stu.
Thank you.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.